Welcome to another session of Endless Space. I'm Matt, and this is our playthrough of the Hissho faction. So, we just met the Oregons, or the Volters, and that's finding the newest empire and attacking it. So, that's good that we finally found another empire, but it looks like they're going to be really far away, which is kind of bad. Ideally, we'd want them to be really close or a little bit closer to us so we could quickly attack them, but it looks like we're going to have to invest in or build our ships in such a way that they can move quickly, which means they're going to be less militarily impressive. And hopefully we can still overpower them with superior numbers and the element of surprise, but it's not ideal. Fortunately, we had a good economic start and picked up these. I'm just going to move the population over to the most productive planet. Picked up these temperate and fertile planets to power up public-private partnerships and our xeno-industrial infrastructure. Two of the best upgrades in the early game. So we had one half of an excellent Hissho start. The early game economy on our only system is really good. The proximity to the nearest system of an attackable faction is very bad. Like we're pretty far away from this minor faction, quite far away from the Volters. So we have the one part of a really good start, and one part of a mediocre start. I'm going to pick up sustainable farms next. We can pick up cerebral reality and drone network if we want. Oh, I forgot. I still have to reassign my hero. I think I did that in the last recording, but I didn't save exactly after it. So I'm going to put the hero in the system, and I think I decided to choose the extra industry over the industry and food. So I'm not quite sure about the decision. It might be that we need the food more. Like we have noticeably more industry than food. So 10 points of food might be more valuable than 15 points of industry, and that's the choice we have to make here. And I'm not sure which is correct. I guess I'm going to go with the food. The very ethical forced labor perk. But I'm not sure which of these is better here. We can also think about picking up intensive cultivation. We can pick up intensive cultivation first. That's going to give us more food than sustainable. But obviously it takes longer to build, and we're also losing out on building these things really quickly. So we're going to get 30 food from these two. So we can build all of these, for instance. I mean, we can build everything, I guess, but then we have to potentially delay our ship production. That's never great. So we have to pick up these technologies. We're going to get them way faster with public-private. So we can think of picking up all of these three, and that's going to give us 30 food. This will give us 20 because there's one hot and there's 3 planets. So that's going to give us 30 food, 10 industry, 10 dust, 15 dust, 15 science over 4 turns. Versus intensive cultivation is going to give us 25 food plus 9 plus later system developments, but we don't have the tech for that yet. And I'm honestly not sure if I really want dust trees or dark litter that much. In terms of as a luxury resource. Is K a luxury resource? Oh no. They improve K. Okay, that's nice. I think wine improves. No, I'm not sure which resources improve K. So this is going to give us comparable food for less cost. That's currently worse than just picking up these other upgrades. If we go for drone network, we don't actually have to pick up cerebral reality as well. We can just get these two. That's going to be a good boost of food in just 2 turns of production. So now I've gotten all that food and production going. We've basically finished everything we can do this turn. We still have these 2 upgrades planned on the road to build up early game military. Which is a priority because we at very least want to start going towards this minor civilization. And ideally want to start attacking the major civilization we just found. This is kind of funny because we we found the Hissho, which were originally called the Hissho before the Hissho were made a major faction in this game. They were present as a minor faction. And kind of good for us because the perks that give extra manpower is kind of nice for a military faction like ours. But at the same time, this is not great because we could have picked the minor faction part of the tree and it might have been easier to do than get these ships. So I'm kind of regretting that choice. It is still funny that we found the old Hissho. Okay, just normal alerts. I'm just going to research curiosities here, partly because it gives us bonus happiness with that. Okay, now we have a choice to make. Do we want extra to lose 10 science a turn for a random science technology in 20 turns? We'll just ignore this. 10 science is really not a joke at this point in the game. Like, it's a 17th of our... Wait, math. Math on screen is on. So, losing 10 science... Actually, we have a lot of science, so it might be worth it. Though, again, a random technology. 10 turns of that is almost a turn of science production. So I guess we're losing on a turn of science production for potentially a technology. That is a good deal in general. I'm just going to try it out. I don't think it will noticeably impact our science production at the moment. Might not pay off for us, but anyway. Also, researching curiosities on a planet for minor civilization gives you points, or diplomatic points to that planet. But that's possibly not something we really care about, because we're probably going to pick them up by military invasion anyways. Although it doesn't hurt in case we decide we want to send our ships towards the Voltas. So I'm just going to check down here first. By the way, this is the starting point of the Voltas. They start on this anomaly, or this space debris, and then they travel, or they get to choose which system they colonize first from this point. Like, they could have gone this direction, but they didn't, unfortunately for us. Economic Behemoth is still on standby. And we have titanium production, and... yeah, so that'll be that for that turn. As usual, the scores are kind of misleading. You'll never be able to, or rarely be able to keep up with the AI and score, but you're definitely going to outplay it, especially in the later game. Oh, that's good. We completed this deed, which is... deeds are quests that any player can complete, and the first person to complete them gets the reward. And they're unlocked by... you unlock the deed by unlocking a certain tier of technology. So sometimes you'll just unlock a deed in the later game just by virtue of being the first to unlock that technology. So we got this one by searching curiosities, and it gave us 5k, which is really nice. It also gave us dust glitter, which is not the worst, I guess. We might end up going for dust glitter as a luxury resource because we have so much of it, and extra manpower isn't bad, but it's also not great. I'd much prefer something else like Jadonics for industry or Blue Cup mold for science. We could go with dust trees for the extra dust. Might be more important for us. And let's continue mining. It's sort of getting to the point where the 10 extra fids don't matter as much. Although, they're never terrible. So, we can probably think about picking up Cerebral Reality first. Or do we want to go for intensive cultivation and basically put our ship production? So we should be able to pick up these two technologies really quickly. Question is, do we want to spend more time in getting more food and setting up our system? Or do we want to go straight into ship production and then buy out ships using dust? So we basically... this is a technique where you build a ship with... which is quite well known at this point in the game. You build a ship which is not that well manned, I guess. Well, it doesn't have that many modules, basically. Ship design basically works like this. You have a ship, and then you put modules on the ship, and those determine its capacities along with its hull type. So you build a ship with relatively few modules, like so. It's easier to produce in terms of industry, and then you retrofit it and upgrade it, costing you dust, but you get a better ship for less industry at the expense of dust. So we could do that, or we can get more food in intensive cultivation. And more food means this system will get stronger in the long term. And I'm not 100% sure which is best. I think I'm probably going to go with the extra ships and pick up Cerebral Reality. Though, I mean, it's possible that picking up the unique system improvement there is better. Actually, especially since I think one of these quests has... Oh yeah, this quest is related to unique improvements, and we get extra K, and less importantly, we get some luxuries, which we could then sell or something. You kind of don't really want to use luxuries if you don't have a stream of them, because then you have to buy all of them, and like, it becomes a hassle. It looks like there's a fair amount of dust trees in this area, which we'll later exploit using behemoth probes. So maybe dust trees is the correct choice for our first luxury. This is still planning far ahead, but like, it's not something we have to decide right now. What do we have to decide right now is whether we want intensive cultivation or to build ships. And I'm not sure which is best, but I sort of feel like I want more food production. And partly because more food production also means increase in manpower production, which is something we'll need. I feel like our industry is powerful enough that we're going to be able to pump out enough ships relatively quickly. So I kind of just want to get the extra food going. And this is something that will just scale in effectiveness as we go later in the game. Because we can just pick up this tier while we're producing ships, and then get a system development really quickly. And that'll give us an additional 25 points of food. And this, of course, as we get more Hissho population, we'll get more food and get even more Hissho population, really improve the system. We're going to be more or less stuck on one system for a relatively long time, so I think it's a bit more important to pick this up. And at the expense of like slowing down our initial attack a little bit. So I guess the later we attack pink, the more territory we'll be able to take from them. We've got another level. I'm gonna stick with the extra food. Oh, this is per planet. Oops, I've been completely misevaluating this. I thought this was a flat boost to food, like it's a flat boost to industry, but it's actually food per planet, so that's actually really huge. And that's an amazing ability for the hero. Oops! That's completely wrong we said there. So we're actually getting a huge chunk of food improvements from our hero here. And then later on we can pick up a little bit of industry, or maybe industry and food in these perks. But yeah, that's an incredible ability, which I wasn't aware of. So we're picking up that huge food boost, and we're going to get a little bit extra food. All the while we're going to pick up these two technologies in 4 turns, it turns out. Probably because we reduced our production, but it actually lines up really well. Once we have the technology for better ships, we'll also have built up intensive. So that's kind of nice. You get, like, there's a lot of choices in Endless Space which are sort of like not super clear either way. Definitely something I want to think about for future playthrough, but we're doing pretty well either way. I think we can go there, and then 2 turns. 3 turns will have built up enough curiosities to detect both of these. So we'll be detecting the same amount of curiosities, but we'll also position our scout ship to move more in this direction, where we can actually discover new territories, get more K. We don't just want to be using this ship. Now we can think about getting Way of the Obsidian Eagle on our main system. We can afford the K at the moment, without that pulling us down to another tier. The downside is that we won't be using the industry for much at the moment. We should probably wait till we have we have the ships to produce. Although we can think about then retrofitting ships. Oops. Yeah, I could have been saving on that. We can think about then retrofitting ships if we finish this, or building retrofittable ships if we finish our industry production before we finish our science production. Sorry if that makes sense. Let me explain it again. So we have to build... I want to build these two within 4 turns, and I want to research these two within 4 turns, and they perfectly line up so that we can produce good ships directly with industry. But if we boost our industry, that might put them out of sync. But at the same time, if they're out of sync, we can just build ships and then retrofit them with dust once we have the technologies. So let's do that. And weirdly, that didn't have a noticeable effect on these. Oh well. So in that case, it was a bit wasted. Now, once we pick up autonomous, we definitely want to turn all of our troops into tanks. So I'll be doing this next turn, but basically there's a rock, paper, scissors system for ground combat between infantry, armor, and air. Infantry beats air, air beats armor, armor beats infantry, but air is only unlocked late in the game. So armor is the default best for a decent portion of the game. And that's because armor beats infantry and armor trades evenly against other armor. So you want to convert all your troops to armor if you can, using the manpower cost. So in 3 turns we'll have intensive up. Turns out I don't actually have to pop this wave of the Obsidian Eagle, but I'm sure it'll pay off on the next turn. Somewhat weird that this noticeable boost didn't. Does this effect trigger twice or only once? It looks like this effect actually doesn't stack. I didn't know this. If you apply it to a system, it doesn't stack with the effect for the Behemoth's K-Zone. That's kind of interesting. That's good to know for future, or good to know if you're playing at home. You'll get 25% boost by activating this on the if you only have one system. But if you put the Behemoth on another system, which is what we want to do eventually, then you can benefit more than if you had them overlapping. And equally, if we had the Behemoth here and we had a new system elsewhere, we could pop it on this system and then get the benefit on both systems as opposed to only one. So I've learned something now about the way that effect works, and you won't be making that blunder in your own games. So again, nothing much to do with our fleets this turn. Let's pass. Okay, we found a new minor faction. That's quite nice. I'm just going to scout around here to make sure there's no... that's a dead end. It might not be a dead end, obviously, but I think it is. We've got XP on our ship. That's awful. I guess I'll leave him there and just get another curiosity, because losing 2 movement points is not the end of the world. Or them there. So here, this is going to be nice to capture from this civilization, and it's something we'll easily be able to do either while setting ourselves up to attack pink or after attacking pink. Alright, so we have picked up this ability to transform all of our units into armor from infantry, and it costs us manpower, so that's good to do so that we can regenerate some of our good to do earlier so we can regenerate our manpower before we build new troops. Still, we're like building our population quite quickly, which is very nice. Actually, there's a weird population screen where we can spend resources to improve population, some population rather than the other. Oh yeah, here it is. We don't have the. It might be better to have more Hissho population than more of these guys, the religious robots. So, I mean, if you have these resources, you can spend them to prefer one type of population over another if you want that bonus more. We don't have it, so we can't make that decision. It was something worth thinking about, though. One reason why I'd prefer not to spend that much dust is because there's this technology, the ability to access the heroes section of the marketplace, which we can use to hire heroes using dust. So if we don't get a huge benefit out of cheating our chips, I might just skip on it, just to save up dust for that later. Though it's possible our military upkeep will make that more of a pipe dream than anything else. Although we can get this on our system now. And the bonus dust would definitely help out with that. It's something we have to think about because the academy hasn't been spotted. And we kind of don't really want to get this technology. Like, we don't benefit that much from influence production. And the academy embassy, like, building an academy embassy is a pain to unlock heroes. Ideally, heroes would have just been unlocked, so we could easily get a general for our conquests. We might want to have to, or we might have to, or we might want to. Oh, I didn't notice this. Have to unlock a hero via the marketplace. So, given that we discovered that there, we might want to send our scout ship down here and make the crossing, or having picked up baryonic shielding. Just so we can scout out that area and see if there are civilizations there that we might be in a better position to attack. Now, crossing this costs us movement points, and I suddenly sort of urgently feel like I want to get a ship over there. But it's probably going to be better to build a new ship, or build a new scout ship and check that out. So let's rather just look for curiosities. And we picked up a module there, that's kind of interesting. I don't think it's a really good one. There are actually some good modules you can pick up. I guess we'll just keep farming curiosities with that one. Let me just check that our scout ship is up to date. In the sense that it's actually good. Yeah. I mean, they're not great, but they're not awful either. We might actually want to build a brood ship 2.0 for that 12 movement points. And once we have that brood ship, we can just send it along here. I mean, once we get technology, that's probably best. I really want to scout down here in case there's another civilization there. Probably something I should have been more vigilant about. Oops. So, I mean, I guess there were small mistakes or small decisions I could have done differently. But we really are off to a good start, and I think we have played this section reasonably well. Alright. So now we've unlocked military, we can think about building better warships. Now, it's difficult to know what armor or defenses you're going to need. Wait, actually, let's check. I was trying to get this quest condition. I believe it's 197. So that's out of reach. But you can still build pretty decent warships in the game. Now the best weapons right now are going to be this laser beam and long distance torpedoes. What kind of torpedoes are there? Now we can, I guess I'm going to build a sort of all-rounder defense kind of ship with lasers, and then I'm going to build a aggressive ship, and they have 8 movement speed, which isn't super amazing, but at the same time it's not too shabby either. And we can build 11 move ships, or more move ships of this design. The only problem is they'll be quite bad in general. They won't have many defenses, and they won't have many guns, versus these will have better stats. But we can use them to catch up, and thereby improve our general fleets. Okay, so these cost a decent amount. can pump out more kestrels at the start of the game. We could also think about making a sort of cheat design for our ships that cost a bit more. And then use dust. We can use dust to retrofit them. Let's maybe add the engines, because those are cheapest to make. See, when we add the weapons, the industry cost goes up a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that much of a reduction. I guess if we go for a total cheat, as it were, we remove everything. And then we can build those really quickly. So we can pump out like 2 in a turn. Yeah, that's probably worth it. It'll drain our dust. Again, something I'd prefer to keep high. Because of the cost of buying heroes. But it's probably not that realistic for us to get lots of heroes at this point anyways. We'll probably have enough dust for one of them by the time we unlock this. We can always sell luxuries for it. And lastly, we're not going to need that many heroes. We already have a governor, and we're going to need to buy a military hero. And that's all we need until we can get new systems up and running. We found a new world. That's a unique planet. It's Spica, which is good for... Oh no, sorry, Vale. Vale is the unique planet. Good stats overall, but again, we're not going to really be colonizing. So hopefully Pink grabs that planet, or somebody does. Okay, let's just make sure this is dead end. Weirdly, it's better for us if Pink actually delays their expansion a little bit. Baronic shielding is something I just in particular want to pick it up just because I want to make this jump. And if there's another civilization there, that'll be potentially easier to get to, although potentially also harder. See, we've built up our food and industry really nicely. And in 2 turns, we'll have a couple of ships there. And we'll probably send them first to subdue the system. Although doing so does cost us because we'll have less K. Okay, this is the quest for finding the academy, which trains heroes. It's the only way of getting heroes outside of buying them on the marketplace. And we can find atmospheric curiosities. Oops. That would be good. Huh! That was lucky. Good that I chose not to check that out sooner. Although we got a useless benefit from it in like bonus experience for our ships. Okay, we've picked up 1, the brood ship, and 2, the kestrel in the system. So we'll keep the brood ship here. I think the fastest jump distance to that system is probably actually via this system. Once we have Baronic shielding, we can make that jump. And we can start sending out the kestrel to there, though it doesn't really make sense to send 1 ship alone, to be honest. So we're going to wait till we have the attacker ships together with it. And maybe even wait for even more ships, who knows. I have a lot of idle ships doing not that much at the moment. We're still getting curiosities from this ship, but it's going to become relatively useless quite quickly. Even like the 1 gun is like, this is not a it's not a military ship that inspires much confidence, although it's not costing us too much at the moment. So now we can get extra industry. This is going to give us 20 industry per level. How much is this going to give us? Let's look. We currently have 9 population. So 9 industry, 9 food. This perk is going to be better in the long run. And this perk is It will give us 30 when we colonize all the planets. So then we have to get 30, but then we have to get 15 food before it's 15 population before it's better than that. We're currently on 9 population. It's really not that far off, considering how fast our population is growing. And this is going to be noticeably better in the end game. So I'm kind of inclined to go for this, even though this is better in the short term. But this is going to be better in the longer term, I think. So I'm going to go for that. Again, sort of like a bit flabbergasted at how much better forced labor is than I thought it was. I thought it was like on system instead of per planet on system for some reason. Yeah, forced labor is amazing. Now we're gonna think about improving the designs of these ships. First, we need engines. Then we need the best weapon we can get. I think I'm gonna go for missiles, partly because our other ships are going to be using lasers, because I think we can even go entirely with missiles. So this is a bit cheap on the dust as well. And we'll upgrade both of them and make them into a fleet. So now we can combine everything except the economic behemoth into a fleet. And now we have our first military fleet. Now this is going to take them still quite a long time to get to there and do anything meaningful. I think we're still going to pump out these slow ships and then only later pick up some ships which are a bit faster. This would be nice to have. And we can think about going towards it by getting galactic commodities. I think I want to get these upgrades so I can quickly get the system development. And the 60 bonus dust and 25% bonus food that comes with it because of the improved food upgrade we have is probably going to be something that's sort of worth it at this point in the game. And we can get this bonus as well. And also dust buyouts is not bad. Bonus on sterile and bonus per luxuries is also not terrible. And also the ash planet would be nice. But I do want to have the ability to sell... I do want to have the ability to sell the luxuries we accumulate through quests, etc. For extra dust for heroes. I'm not sure if multi-thread management or atmospheric filtration will be better sooner. Possibly atmospheric. Depends on how badly we need the extra dust. We'll probably get all 3 of those at some point. I'm guessing I'm going to go for atmospheric first. We can also think about picking up Denark University at some point. Because it's just something powerful we can get on our system. And also we can just eventually get this. We've already built one of the unique systems. And the extra K and bonus dust we'll get by selling these luxuries is substantial. And we're probably going to pick up Endless Research Park and Endless World. I mean, we'll pick up at least one of these. If we end up going for both of these, we'll get that quest. So that'll be nice since all of those components are individually nice on their own. And I'm not super keen on getting botanical scanning. Although the tier upgrade for this is just an extra lore slot, which is also in itself valuable. I think we'll get that first for the tier upgrade, after we get this tier upgrade, which is more of a priority. And the lore slot will end up mattering, I think, in the long run. For instance, we could have Hatched at Home and the fleet reduction, which would be nice. And we also sort of want to pick up better fleet designs at some point. Like, these are just so much better than these. So it is kind of worth it to like go for that at some point. Though at the moment we're building like pretty bad ships just to tackle you. So in 3 turns we can go down here, and then hopefully we'll quickly see what's up with this part of the system. Hopefully there's another major faction there. And maybe that will even be faster for our fleets to go there and attack that instead of attacking this. Although just extra K from discovering new places is just worth it, so we can keep our K high despite using Hatched at Home, which is still busted. Alright. So we're still producing. And we're sending this fleet in this direction. We probably just want to go and pick up this at some point. It will cost us more care to maintain this lore, but we are discovering quite a few planets, and an extra planet is starting to become a priority, considering how late we're going into the game without one. Another atmospheric. It'd be kind of nice if we picked up that quest. Oh, we did finish the quest, and we got nice rewards. Bonus K, Hyperium, Influence, and bonus Dust. Now that we have Hyperium, we can think about quickly getting the tier upgrade for this, which is extra, a better engine, basically. Although these technologies aren't really a priority, we're not going to have to be colonizing these planets anytime soon. So that's nice in that way, but also not nice in this way, the other way. I mean, when we get this, we want to be able to colonize deserts, but only once we've set up that system. I'm not sure why that's blank. I think it's just a bug with the game. So we've hit a dead end in this part of the system. And so this scout has really sort of outlived its usefulness. We could send it down here. That'll take it 12 turns. And we've discovered everything we need to discover. This one is still getting us curiosity, so it's not entirely dead. But weirdly, we're sort of boxed in this part of the system with pink. Another good reason to like explore that. It kind of makes me feel like I want to move the ship down here to send probes off and discover different parts of the galaxy. But I guess we'll just sell this. We don't really need it anymore. It's just costing us upkeep for no reason. Now, question is, can we do better work with the scout? And I think we can. We could, for instance, pick up curiosities there, but also check out this area, see what Pink's up to. Alright. And we've got Prev Scale Accelerators. What is that? That gives us this upgrade. We get bonus science per planet and bonus per anomaly, and we can also exploit the system scientifically, which is honestly not bad. I mean, and it also makes me more inclined to pick up this. This had how much cost? It had 4. So we did save science in the end, although it was really delayed, and it was something we might not have wanted. Though this is something we don't hate, to be honest. The fleet accelerator is something we can think about getting now that we have Hyperium. So I think we'll go with that. Will we benefit more from the lore slot than the extra engines? Unlikely. Actually, we probably even want to prioritize the extra engines. Sort of funny how my view changed as soon as I got this technology. I was like, it's only 2 turns. Better, faster ships. But, and once, I mean, we'll have, the first wave of ships will be kind of slow, and then the new ships will have better engines to be able to catch up with them a bit faster. And here is a system they've placed over here, really close to us, and it has wine. And Transvine is Transvine. Well, it's wine in Endless Legend. That's why I was confused. This is really good. It gives us bonuses when our K is high or something. I remember it being strong. I forgot exactly what it does. They're actually sort of inclined to go for the system. Though, actually, let's orbit that system first and see how close it is to completion. If it's not even done, if close to being done, then attacking it doesn't actually do anything, because we won't be able to gain the system. Oh, I forgot. They don't have outposts. The system is done. We can actually think about attacking it immediately. We'll get there in 4 turns. And that way we're putting pressure on our neighbor. I mean, these things we can always pick up later, although it's quite quick to pick them up. If we go here in 4 turns, and we'll have this here in 4 turns, then we link up later. This will be easier to get than this. And we want to get both, is the impression. And we want to have more of an element of surprise, while still putting a lot of pressure on Pink. I mean, specifically, we want the element of surprise, because Pink will start producing ships once we start attacking it. There's no overpopulation disapproval because of how K works, which is always nice. I'm putting them there for extra influence production. Turns out we could have maybe used the influence to convert these systems, but we're going for military anyway. And you always kind of want influence as a military faction, so you can refuse truces later on. Kind of weird. I mean, if you're going to collect them anyways with force, then there's less of incentive to impress them already. And the Sophonicity is down here. That's interesting. Does that mean we should not attack Pink? Attack Pink first, and then divert the rest of our forces onto the Sophonicity? So, that's an interesting choice for us to make, and I think it's an interesting choice we'll make in the next episode. So thanks again for joining me for this session of Ender Space 2. In the next, we'll have to decide if we're only going to commit these fleets to attacking these systems, and if we're going to send the rest of our fleets towards the Sophonicity, or if we're going to commit to taking out Pink first and then turning to the Sophonicity. This is kind of an interesting opener based on how far away enemy systems have been, but fortunately our early game economic strength is probably going to carry us through to picking up a bunch of new systems, and also coupled with the power of our hero as a governor with this, it turns out, really amazing forced labor perk, which I didn't really know about. So join us next time as we set ourselves up for a strong military campaign and really get that rolling. And obviously later in the series I want to show how this military campaign helps you snowball into a powerful end game and middle game economy. So thanks again for watching, and join me for the next installments.